So what I've been doing over the years is just putting myself where the students are. Many of us as students are looking for guidance, are looking for help, looking for mentors. New dentists can launch their careers and don't have to wait or don't have to spend another $100,000 plus a year to get that education.
I want to highly recommend those young dentists who are looking for mentorship, who's looking for guidance. This is the person that you want to talk to. Thank you so much, Dr. Hayes, for coming in and having this conversation. How you doing this afternoon?
Absolutely. I'm doing good. Better now that we talking.
Right, right, right.
Better now.
All
Better
right.
now.
I ask most of my guests when they come in, what got you involved in dentistry? Why, what piqued your interest from the beginning?
How much time we got on that question? uh,
Well,
and
take your time. We got time.
well, it's an interesting question only because I was not interested in dentistry initially.
Oh, okay.
All right. I was
Yeah.
a non-traditional student entering dentistry, entering dental school. I have a, a bachelor's in architecture, and that was my love.
Yeah.
Creating, building, drawing, very art forward, art centric.
Yeah.
Went to undergrad, 4-year degree, and got a bachelor's in architecture. Actually worked in the Washington, D.C. area for about 3, 4 years before making a decision to go back to school, but not back to school to get a master's in architecture or a master's in engineering or something like that, getting a doctorate in dentistry. And that came through a family member.
Hmm.
Actually, two family members. One is my dad, he was a dental technician, and also my uncle, my mom's youngest brother. And it was both of them, but more so my uncle, that was really influential at a time where I was making a transition from what I was doing in construction management as a project engineer and project manager, making that transition to more of a family-based business.
Hmm.
And it came this way because of this. It came this way because many of the offices that I was working in were family-owned construction companies, one of the top three in the Washington, D.C. and the Northeast region, but they were family-owned, family-owned. And with that comes making sure that your family members have positions in your family business,
Of course.
right?
Yeah.
So over that 2 or 3 years about 3 years that I was working, I saw myself repeatedly getting passed over for promotions by those family members that maybe didn't have similar training or experience, but most likely because they were family.
Mhm.
So I went to my family and I just had an epiphany one day. It was a family reunion. We were in Northern Virginia. My uncle, who's the dentist, was the guest speaker,
Hmm.
and he was just overwhelmed on the about the event of having all of these family members, many of which he hasn't seen 20, 30 years. He remembers growing up, going to see them summer times. And he was just talking about the beauty of having family together. So you heard me say family, right? So that was a key word that was almost like a trigger word because I had been traumatized with all these promotions that I didn't get because of family or somebody else's family. And then it just hit me. Boom. Family. Family business. I could become a dentist. I can go to Jersey and work in our family business or create a family business with my uncle as a dentist. I asked him right there at the reunion, "What do you think about me becoming a dentist?" He looked at me like, "Oh, yeah, you could do that." I mean, you just got to take some classes here and there, but here, but you be able to do it. You'd be a great dentist. Personable, good hand-eye coordination should be good. And with that, I was good. I transitioned. I was taking classes at night while I was working 50, 60 hours, um, 9 to 5 or 9 to 6,
Wow.
9 to 10, and got into University of Maryland, and the rest is history. So that's how I got into dentistry. That was the thing that drew me to dentistry, but also kind of got me to making that decision to pursue to become a dentist.
Wow. That's a great story. I really appreciate that. Now, I know you've done so much and still doing so much for the young people. And I mean, I didn't want to wait until the middle. I wanted to start it right now. Like, share with us what you actually do with the advancement of young dentists. And I know you do it from high school and probably grammar school and all the way through college and then grad school. But wherever you want to start with that, it's okay with me.
Well, interesting enough that you mentioned grammar school. Um, that target of the population of young children is a popular one right now as far as getting children introduced to health professions, right?
Hmm.
Getting them exposed to it, allowing them to see people that look like them,
Yes.
that are also contributing to society and not necessarily slam dunking the ball or hitting the ball out of the park playing baseball, right?
Right, right.
So it actually starts there. And enough, I do some consulting with some pediatric dentist practices, and I actually do some exams with their population. And you don't have to like kids, but when you see the impact that you have when they see you or they see your face, and maybe they haven't seen your face before, right? As a male, and you're talking to them and interacting with them and having that exchange, it's very impressionable,
Yeah.
right? And for some kids it could be polarizing. So it does start as early as grammar school, elementary school, and it continues all throughout middle school, junior high. I don't know if they call it junior high anymore. High school and college. It's not too late in college either, right? It's not too
Mm-hmm.
late in college.
Mm-hmm.
So what I've been doing over the years is just putting myself where the students are, right? Whether they're in the undergrad space, whether they're in dental school, and then also where they are as new dentists coming into the profession with the first 5 years out.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the things that I've noticed that led me down this pathway is that um, many of us as students are looking for guidance, are looking for help, looking for mentors, right? Yes, there are some in our institutions, but depending on where you go and what you look like, there may not be any.
Mm-hmm.
And with that comes the need for individuals to have someone to ask questions or answer questions that they have, right? And a lot of it has to do with as it relates to dentistry as a career in healthcare, being, how do I pursue dentistry? How do I become a dentist? So that means starts with the pre-dental students, some of which know in high school that they want to become a dentist. Some don't realize it until maybe college, right? First or second or third year in college that they may want to pivot. Some don't realize it until after college, like I
Yeah.
did, right?
Yeah.
And so it starts there with getting them information, but also making sure that they're connected in a community or they have a community where they can continue to pull resources, learn, understand that support them and uplift them so that they can advance forward, right? And that's been the goal with pre-dental students, dental students, and then even residents who are looking that are doing some additional advanced training, but also want to specialize, right? They want to become an orthodontist. They want to become an endodontist. They want to become a pediatric dentist. They want to be a dental anesthesiologist as well. So supporting them as well, because often in dental school, those mentors, those specific questions do not get answered for various reasons. One of the reasons is it's just not enough time,
Mm.
right? The curriculum is so jam-packed for 4 years, and now there's get ready to be another dental school that has 3 years of training with the purpose and intention so that people can, students, not students, new dentists can launch their careers and don't have to wait or don't have to spend another $100,000 plus a year to get that education. So lots of times there's not a lot of information focused in the curriculum about life after dental school, right? Clinical life, financial life, personal life, all those things.
Mhm.
So being involved and being a previous residency program director at one of the largest general dentistry residency programs in the country, we had a lot of students that were now graduates and dentists, new dentists, that were asking questions
Mhm.
about their careers, about how to launch their careers, about how to specialize, as to also looking at contracts for their new job, right? That they're going to be taking on after residency. A lot of questions, a lot of questions, which means lots of opportunities to answer questions, but also to help people. So that's what we've been doing for, I don't know, about 50 years, but yes,
You've
half a
been doing
century, you
this for
said.
so long, man.
I know.
I just like, uh, I mean, it's been super, super impressive how you've been able to tap into those different areas. Now, I do know too that you've been working or had been working with the ADA and their diversity position. And can you elaborate a little bit on your how that manifested, how that went? And I know you still kind of like back and forth with that whole idea and consciousness, the placement and whatever have you. You are instrumental in you have your hand in so much stuff, man. It's like I mean, this is just awesome. So what took place when you were doing that work? And are you still doing it?
So I had a position was well actually it really wasn't a position. It was like an internship, um, fellowship
Mhm.
and leadership. The
Okay.
ADA, American Dental Association,
Mhm.
has had this program called the Institute for Diversity and Leadership, where they take non-traditional dentists who are in leadership positions, and shape them or provide them some resources so that they can now launch themselves in leadership roles, whether at the national level, at the state level, or local level, and as leaders make impact. So
Mm.
every year there's a cohort, at least there had been up until a year or two ago, and they've changed the program now. But every year there's a cohort of about 20 dentists from around the country that you have to apply and get a letter of recommendation for. And you have some both online and also in-person curriculum where you're learning some tenements about leadership, right? And ways that you can demonstrate or ideas that you have related to how you see yourself leading and making impact. That endeavor for me was a stepping stone because I wanted to be more uh, involved with and influential as a leader within an organization or with organizations, right? And especially since it was tying into the role that I had as program director at the residency program
Hmm.
as well. So I kind of saw myself, let's continue to, get this leadership training. Let's continue to network, get connected. Not only will it help in my role, but also it's going to help me and advance my career, but also those that we mentor or that I have been mentoring or serving as a mentor for. So that's really what the program was with the ADA. Additionally, I have a volunteer role as one of, oh man, that's probably at least 50 of us, may even be more than that. The ADA, the American Dental Association, has a platform where they have dentists give speeches and presentations about life after dental school,
Oh.
right? About finances, about contracts,
Hmm.
about picking the next position or the associate position for you, about how to set a budget, how to make sure that you're looking at your finances not only in dental school but also after dental school, right? Uh, Presentations about applying to residency and also applying to dental school. So I've been a volunteer in that program and a speaker in that success program. I would say, yeah, it's been over 10 years, probably close to 15 now. And that gives me an opportunity to meet different students and dentists across the country at all the different dental schools, the residency programs throughout the country as well, and also gives me another opportunity to reconnect or connect for the first time colleagues that I haven't seen before, that I haven't even met before. So still been involved with in that capacity with the American Dental Association, which is also filtered or spilled into other filters or other roles with the NDA, National Dental Association, also with the American um, the Academy of General Dentistry, AGD, and also most recently with the American College of Dentists and the International College of Dentists as well. So been busy. It's important to be busy.
Yeah, I agree. I just want to circle back real quick to your position with your uncle when you
Yes,
came into dentistry.
yes.
How long did you all have your relations? How long did you all work together? Or are you still do you still have that going on? How is that working out?
What
Because
had happened was,
okay, because I'm wondering how are you doing all of this and you practicing, doing your clinical work. I mean, like, that is just, man, mind-boggling.
yeah.
What do I mean, where do you find the
So
time?
the intention was to come back and work in the office and come back to New Jersey and work in the office. However, during the time after dental school, I did a residency. After a residency, I was active duty in the Air Force for 4 years, and I was not in New Jersey. I was in Nevada, I was in Korea, and I was at the Pentagon. And then after that, 4 years of military as a dental officer, I moved to Houston, Texas, and worked in a big cosmetic practice. Learned a lot about the business of dentistry. From there, I moved back to Las Vegas for a couple of years. From there, I moved to LA and opened up a practice and was there for about 4 years before having to come back to New Jersey. And then when I came back to New Jersey, I became more involved in dental education, running an evening clinic at the hospital and then also assuming the role as residency program director. Then after that, then after that, taking on another role that I'm very proud of and was very happy to be selected for, but also make some impact with state dental director for the state of New Jersey.
Yeah.
And so ever since dental school, there's been something that I've been doing that has not necessarily been working in my uncle's office.
Mm, mm.
Um, so there's been some times in between some roles where I would be in the office, have patients, uh, help people with their oral health care, and then another opportunity would come up, and either I relocated or commuted, right? Had a commute in another state or another location. So he still has his practice. Um, he's semi-retired, and we still keep in touch, of course. We talk at anything and everything dentistry, finance. He's a big finance guy, and golf,
Of course, of
of
course.
course.
So now, during your 4 years uh, within your practice, how did you structure your business? Was it insurance? Was it fee based? How did you structure your work while you were there, business
So
wise?
I'm going to focus my answer based on the practice that was in Burbank, California, in LA.
Okay.
That was a mix of fee for service
Hmm.
and insurance based PPO, Delta Dental, United,
Hmm.
etc. And the actual structure was, you know, well, when you say structure, I'm just going to tell a little bit about the actual office setup.
Okay.
I actually purchased the office from a prosthodontist who was relocating, and he had the space that was already built out, but he was expanding and he was also relocating.
Mm.
So my startup situation is probably one of which that are not as typical, meaning uh, most people who starting up a dental practice are starting up from scratch, meaning
Ground
they're
up.
building it out,
Yeah.
or they're starting up their own after purchasing someone else's practice,
Hmm.
right?
Hmm.
Mine was kind of like a hybrid in such that I got the building, or I got the the space, the dental space inside the building, uh, chair, equipment, everything already there. Only thing I needed, so to speak, was new floors, fresh paint, sterilization, staff, and people to help. And I saved the best for last because people to help, right? Because your space means nothing if you're not able to connect to and reach out to people who need your help. So that was pretty much the structure as far as how I got into my own practice after working as an associate, and also being a military officer as well.
Wow. So your business acumen, where did you get all of that? I mean, because you made a lot of moves. Where
Friends
did
and
you?
family, friends and family,
Yeah.
friends
Friends
and
and family.
family, and a lot of it has, was because, like I stated before, there's not enough information and enough time for dentists to learn how to be entrepreneurs during the time where they need it the most, or at least when they're learning the most, which is dental school, right?
Mm-hmm.
Unfortunately, dental school, the curriculums was set up to give you a little sprinkle about what's coming in the future, you know, uh, classes related to business plans, and have to have a financial plan and how to get a loan and how to structure your office. But I said a sprinkle,
A sprinkle.
whereas everything else is a full-fledged, apple pie and cake, right? It's much more. However, when you go into the business of dentistry, once you finish dental school, all of that is much more than just dental school, meaning there's so much more that you need to know and learn. So typically we've been forced to have to rely on others, right? Whether it be mentors, friends, or family members that are dentists that have their own practices, and just learning from them in addition to continuing education, right? Having the being intentional and making sure that for every two classes of continuing education that's related to clinical advancement, that you at least take one that's related to business acumen and understanding and learning as well.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
that was pretty much my roadmap.
Mm.
And my roadmap, but also the blueprint that I use. Friends and fam, friends that had opened up practices, multiple practices, friends who were associates, friends who we would meet at dental meetings, like the NDA meetings, or we would meet even as students, we were meeting, um, and constantly sharing. As one buddy of mine, shout out to Dr. Masai in New York on the Upper East Side, just opened up, just expanded his office. Him and I remember when I had my office in California, we would speak at least once a week, Thursday and Fridays. We would just give each other updates and talking about different things that we were doing for patient reactivation, patient new patients, new technologies, issues managing staff. Having to wear not only the hat as dentist and owner, but maybe chief operations officer, and then also switching the hat, and now you're chief financial officer, right? At least until you can hire somebody who can take on those roles. So we would have that dialogue all the time, once a week. And it was not just Dr. Messiah, it was also one of my classmates, Dr. McFadden, down in Atlanta and Snellville. And the list goes on and on and on and on, from specialists that were classmates to general dentists. A lot of that business acumen came from connections,
Mm-hmm.
talking, learning, kind of like, on the job training, but learning as you go through others
Mm-hmm.
that are also in that space,
Mm-hmm.
right?
That's
So th those were the ways.
and did you find yourself like constantly taking notes? I'm going to try this, and from time to time, the things that you tried, I'm sure you had some challenges. And what did you find that was the most challenging as a business owner, as a clinician? What did you find most challenging as you moved through your business space?
Even if you have a plan, you're still going to have to plan on having and updating your plan,
Right.
right? It doesn't mean that it failed or you're failing. It just means you gotta be like water. That who would you say that? Bruce
Bruce
Lee.
Lee.
Be like water. Just
That's
flow.
right.
Just be fluid.
That's
Go like
right.
water. And
Yes.
because you're constantly moving, right?
Mhm.
There's so many different things that we as owners, founders, owners have to be equipped to know how to handle that. When things change, you also have to handle that change too,
Yeah.
right? And I think that was one of the challenges. Another challenge is with any business, but with staff, right? Staff or individuals that also have like mind and like enthusiasm and motivation, like you do as an owner, to move the business forward, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And that's an ongoing challenge even to today, for classmates of mine, for the new dentists that are opening up or getting ready to open up, or it could be as an associate, working with staff. There's two different there's two different competing mindsets,
Mm.
or can be,
Yeah.
right? And the old Amish of you got to find good people,
Yeah.
and good people got to find you too. And sometimes you take the ones that you have and you teach them, and you guys grow together, right?
Mhm.
Um, but that can be a challenge. Not knowing that, no, not knowing and not expecting that you have to be like water,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
And that could be a challenge as well.
Yeah, so now I'm getting a better picture of, uh, uh, somewhat of a better picture of Dr. Hayes because, you know, yeah, you just a constant learner. You're looking for new information.
Yeah.
You know, you're looking to develop constantly. You're not satisfied with where you are now. You just want to like just continue to mushroom, and that's just so powerful. When people can understand that they can take wherever they are to another level, that's when you learn. When you say, "Hey, I don't know nothing. Let me see what else I can find out."
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
Right. Intentional, being intentional in your exploration of, not not accepting yes, but asking why.
Oh,
Why? Okay, that's true. Okay, well, why is that true?
yeah.
Or what else, tell me more, or what else is associated with that I need to know,
Mm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
Um, and for me, that was one of the things that I found for myself in dental school that was part of my MO, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I remember as a D4 student having a part-time professor. I can see his face. I cannot remember his name, but this doctor was, I think he was Air Force or might have been either retired Air Force or Army. But he was very instrumental, helped me with my senior year project. And just the care, the time, and the intention that he had in working with me was not only beneficial, but it was inspiring because I knew that would be the type of person that I would want to be for someone else
That's
because
awesome.
he made that much of an impact. And I think, well, no, I know that that's been part of that motivation, but also part of what I call not being, not accepting anything less than that,
Mm-hmm.
right? Anything less than that is uncivilized, so to speak, you know, uh, because people learn different ways, right?
Yeah,
People have comprehension, they comprehend in different ways.
absolutely.
And didactic is can be different than discussion
Mm-hmm.
and one-on-one or group or just having someone kind of be tuned into you. And that's what he was for me as I was working through my senior year project in a couple cases. And it always reminds me when students or residents will come up and ask those questions, I always kind of go back and think about how being mentored as a dental student shapes how I mentor
Other.
other dental students or other residents or other dentists,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, 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 yeah. So where are you looking to uh, is there any particular area in your career that you feel that you need to like really dive into something that's been kind of like on the back burner and but you wanted to push it forward so that you can put that out there. I know your baby seems to be the children, or I should say the young folk, and that's great. That's wonderful. But is there anything else out there that kind of lights your fire with uh, uh, within the dental community?
Well, definitely, being a role model, but also a role model, not even to current dentists, but those, like I said, those children that see me
Mm-hmm.
or people that look like them in different roles and them learning
Mm-hmm.
what that means,
Yeah.
right? That first impression or that
Mm-hmm.
second impression or
Mm-hmm.
that fourth, fifth, or sixth impression
Mm-hmm.
can really change the trajectory for someone's career, right? So you've got individuals at that age. And then even now, as many of them have grown up and they're dental students or they are residents, continuing that support. I was just on a call with a mentee of mine, and I think we might have talked about it previously before we started, who contacted me when he didn't get into dental school. He had seen some videos, some content we had, and contacted me. Long story short, I gave him a three-step plan, one of the steps was to go back to the dental school, meet so and so, and tell them, y'all made a mistake. Y'all supposed to accept me. I've done this, that. He was like, I can do that. I said, you want to be a dentist? He said, I do. I said, well, isn't this school your number one school? It is, Dr. I said, well, what you got to lose? Because right now you're not in the school.
Mm.
So I just remember having those types of conversations. And then now, over 10 years later, not only is he a dentist, but he's fulfilling his dream of becoming an orthodontist, got married, and he's recently just shared his journey into ortho on our podcast show, and we were chopping it up afterwards, and he had all these questions about, all right, now what do I do next? I said, what you mean, what do you do next? You do orthodontics. He's like, no, 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 there's something else I got to be doing, right? I'm like, and then we went into this conversation, you know. And so that is beautiful because he reminded me not only of how asking for help can magnify and help you not just once, but it can help you throughout your career, right? But it also reminded me of how you can have that type of impact that's sustainable, that could really change someone's life,
Hmm.
right? And not even knowing that you're doing that because you're just doing it because someone did it for you and you like interacting with people and you want to make sure that they have the right information and take the right steps, just like someone did that for you.
Yes.
But the beauty is being reminded, Dr. Hayes, it's been 10, 15 years. I'm like, oh, wow, thanks. You're getting old.
No, man. You don't. Hey, man. Like you. Hey, you don't really look a day over 40.
That's right. That's right. Because I'm 39, 39, 39.
My God, man. Yeah.
So I mean, those are the things that really excite me that are, part of the work that I do, and just always seeing the new dentists, their reactions, as if what I'm saying to them is, well, most of it is stuff that they haven't heard before, but they also question it like, I can do that?
Yeah.
That's okay? I can ask that question?
Right.
I should do that? I should visit a program? I'm like, if you don't, they won't know you. So that's fulfilling and that's nice. And then, also being able to just have time to do other things as well, right? To have that work-life balance, even though I don't know, there's some controversy on what true work-life balance looks like, especially as an entrepreneur,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
But there's some things that you can learn financially that can help you balance whatever you want to balance.
That's true.
That's right. That's right. And then also just I like being able to learn new things. Right now I'm working on an AI project or AI focused project with all the things that are going on with AI in many different business sectors, especially in healthcare, but also in dentistry and oral health as well. So much. So I'm working on a project right now, and actually was on a call with a dentist who has this new product that he's just launching. And we were interviewing him about how he has taken his intellectual property and paired it with AI to create something, to create a solution for people and dentists that can help them run their business, right? Or some of the operations within their business. So being involved with that and being a resource for some people, but also learning from them as well is fun. It's great.
Yeah, this is an absolute gold rush. All you have to do is be creative and understand what's needed. And using AI can help you with your brainstorming ideas and trying to get things kind of put together. It's puzzles that you probably wouldn't even thought was part of the puzzle piece, or
Right.
puzzle pieces that you didn't think was part of the puzzle comes into play, and then that takes your brain to another space. Which is really wonderful, man. So this is, to me, is a gold rush if you're
Yeah, it
willing to
is.
put the work in.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, all you got is time until you don't have it.
Right, right, exactly, exactly. So, what's on the forefront now that you have done all what you've done throughout your career, and don't look like you 1 second at one moment ready to, say, "Hey, okay, all right, I'm ready to retire. I'm ready to just not do anything. I don't ever see you doing anything. Actually, not doing anything. But
Yeah,
what's
me
something?
neither.
Right, right. What is something? What is what you're doing today is going to matter to you the most right now?
Today, what am I doing today that matters the most right now?
Yeah.
Well, I would say continuing the work that we've been doing with helping dentists and students create, uh, convey, and then ultimately convert their applications to dental school and to residency into acceptances, right? Because for many people, this is the next step for them to advance themselves within their careers, whether it's pre-dental student becoming a dentist or a dentist becoming a specialist. Um, every year, there's about 10 to 11,000 people that are applying to dental school. Unfortunately, only half get in, but every year there's more. Just like every year, someone makes the decision. I like general dentistry, but I want to be an orthodontist. My dream has been to be an orthodontist. Every year, every year, even before the year I was born, every year there was somebody making those decisions.
Yeah.
So to be a part of that flow, that cycle, every year is exciting, it's fun, and allows me to meet more people,
Mm-hmm.
help more people,
Yes.
connect more people with amongst themselves and
Mm-hmm.
other colleagues, and be able to do some other things, right? Other things that you want to do in life, the way that you want to do it, or the way that I want to do it, which is also also key, also keys.
Mm-hmm. So with okay, so technology, we tapped just a little bit on AI, but is there anything out there technologically wise that like you have been taking a look at and that you think is people should be like really taking interest in this particular area of technology?
Well, it's definitely AI right now, right?
Yeah,
I mean, there's a big wave.
yeah,
There's still another tsunami coming with
yeah,
it. It's not going to stop.
right.
Um, but there's also opportunities with AI
Mhm.
that support AI and that it helps AI be sustainable. And what I'm talking about is how does AI get generated? And it gets generated by energy. And with all of these different platforms that are that have been created, and we all know all the popular ones, so I don't need to say them because we're not being sponsored by any of them. Um, so with all these different platforms and the platforms changing every week, a new, 5.2, 3.1, new features, that tells us this AI is going to be HERE, as in here, like forever, forever, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
The question is now, not only how do you use it, but also how is it going to shape, like for our particular area of dentistry, how is it shaping how students learn, how faculties teach, right?
Yeah.
How consumers consume or gather information
Mm-hmm.
about who they want to elect as their oral health consultant or dentist,
Right. Right.
right? So being familiar and knowing how to navigate and walk in that space, it's just like it's going to be just like knowing how your body knowing to use oxygen to breathe.
Mm-hmm.
It's necessary.
Yeah.
It's necessary, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Still will require that humanistic input, evaluation.
Mm-hmm.
However, it's helping humans maybe possibly be more efficient, and it's being used as an adjunct to get things done,
Yes.
right? So anyone, especially those under 50, not understanding or not interested in wanting to learn more about it, it's a decision, just may not be the best decision from a day-to-day basis, because at some point, what you do or say has been or will be affected by AI.
Mm-hmm.
And for many of us, there's AI has been in existence much longer than many of us know.
No, that's true.
All right. I
Yeah.
was watching the TV show, and you may know about these guys. Um, called They do a show on Mondays called Market Mondays. Two brothers out of New York and a brother out of Houston,
Mm-hmm.
um, called Earn Your Leisure. I don't know if you heard of these
No,
guys.
no, I'm not familiar.
Oh, well, that's another conversation.
Okay.
However, they had a guest on their show, and she was the daughter of what people are saying. She was the daughter of like the grandfather or godfather of AI
Mm.
from back in the 50s. And there's a movie that's coming out journaling his career, his life. And they were on this particular show, Earn Your Leisure, Market Mondays, and she was sharing the history of what they've been doing over the last 10 or 15 years trying to get this story told. So
Mm.
I was just bringing it up as it relates to AI, saying that, it's been in existence much longer than most people think. What we see today is not the original AI. It's just another variation of it that started more than a half a century ago.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that's like a trend or innovation, not only for dentistry, but something that you will continually need to be paying attention, whether it's reading, listening to podcasts, or whatever that is, so that you get your information. Because there are things happening that people don't even know about because they're not plugged in, they're not being intentional, uh, um, or maybe they just don't know that they need to treatment plan their life or their resources
Yeah.
or how they gather information or what things help them make decisions so that they can sustain themselves, not just for today, not just next month, not just next year, but from years years in the future,
Hmm.
right? I have an 18-year-old son who's you know whose life as an 18-year-old in 2026 looks different than what mine looked like back in the 1980s.
Hmm.
Totally different.
Hmm.
Not only the day-to-day stuff, but also what the future holds, career-wise, decisions about careers. He doesn't want to be a dentist, so that's fine.
You're a businessman, huh?
Businessman, either entrepreneur, economics, finance, coupled with, something in healthcare. Okay, great. But you also need to know and see what other success, how you get to be in that successful position, right?
Hmm.
Success leaves clues. Well, what are the clues? What are the things that have put businesses and individuals into the level of being successful based on whoever's definition that is? It's from you looking at clues, paying attention to things, doing research, some diagnostic testing about how you consume information, what you look at, whether it be finances, whether it be um, leaks or opportunities that can help you make better decisions, but also live the life that you want to live, right? And it's more than just getting a paycheck.
It is.
Because there's a lot of people right now that ain't getting no more paychecks because the jobs just got cut.
Right. This is where you get creative and use the resources that you were alluding to your advantage. Either you do
That's
that
right.
or you're going to ride off into the sunset forever, not really realizing all of the goal, if you will, surrounding you, which
Right.
is fortunate. So,
Right.
but yet you plugged in a lot of wonderful information. I'm sure people are going to take this and run with it. If someone wanted to get in contact with you, how would they do so?
First email. You send us an email at newdentistcoach@gmail.com, newdentistcoach@gmail.com. Um, LinkedIn as well. And for those of you that are listening that are not on LinkedIn yet, uh, what you waiting for? You need to be on LinkedIn. All right. It's yeah, you just you need to be on LinkedIn. It's the professionals platform, um, the social media platform for professionals, right? Many of the things that people want to do for themselves personally, professionally, there are people on LinkedIn that can show you, can share with you, that you can talk with and figure out. But you gotta play the game of being connected. So connect yourself and insert yourself in LinkedIn so you can find us on LinkedIn. And then on social media, Instagram, the underscore new dentist coach underscore I'm sorry, the underscore new dentist underscore coach on Instagram as well. And yeah, you can connect with us that way.
You can also listen to Dr. Hayes' podcast as well. He's a podcaster as well. So, and
Yes, we've been
wonderful
busy. We've
professional.
been busy.
That's what I'm
Been
saying.
busy.
This is just
I
this,
forgot
that.
about that. Yes, the podcast on YouTube.
Right, exactly.
It's called Advance, the new dentist podcast show. And for those of you that are familiar with YouTube, they have these little at signs now, like Instagram does. But the address is at Dr. Darwin Speaks. Dr. Darwin Speaks. And you can also go to drdarwinspeaks.com and it'll take you right to the YouTube channel as well. So a lot of great content. That's what I call, well, actually someone else calls it, but I like it. I'm gonna use it. I don't know if you heard of Myron Golden. Have you heard of Myron
The
Golden
name sounds
before?
familiar.
Brother out of I think
What's
he's
his
down
name?
in Clearwater or St. Pete,
Mm-hmm.
Florida. Um, but he has a term that describes all of his YouTube, him being on the YouTuber sphere. And he calls it, that's his community service content. It's
Oh,
content that he gives to the community, those that want to pay attention and want to learn.
Mm-hmm.
It's free.com. Only thing you got to pay is attention.
Right?
So that's where we are too. We're in the YouTube sphere at under Dr. Darwin Speaks on YouTube.
Love it. Love it. Thank you so much, Dr. Hayes, for coming in and talking with us, sharing all of this wisdom, all of this great information, all of these things that you're doing is just mind-boggling. Thank you so much for taking the time and spending with us today.
Anytime, man. If you need or want to do a part two, let me know because
Oh,
there's some more stuff I like to share about finances or lack thereof,
yes, yes, absolutely.
creativity with regards to that.
Yes, 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 definitely, definitely. Looking forward to that. Thank you so much, man.
You're welcome.
Have a great
Take
day.
care.
The Wealthy Dentist podcast is built on connections, opportunities, and meaningful conversations that help jumpstart careers and boost the ROI on your business. Is there a topic you're passionate about or someone in the dental community who should share their story with us? We want to hear from you. Email your suggestions to the Wealthy Dentist Podcast at gmail.com and let's create content that informs, inspires, and uplifts the dental world. Your ideas could spark our next big conversation. Let's make it happen. I'm Ward Powell, your host at the Wealthy Dentist Podcast, thanking you for being a part of our journey.